Scootchie!
Hello, I'm Scootchie, and this is the Forgotten City.
Hey, you're alive. When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change. So, wanna tell me who you are?
Okay, I guess this is me. I guess this one. I'm Scootchie. Scoochimus. Yep,
Well,
that's me.
it's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry, but any idea why you were floating down the river? What's the last thing you remember?
Oh. Years of studying history give you occasional insights into the ancient world. You have a military-issued firearm, but only 10 bullets. You have to use them judiciously, since there's no way to get more. Your time on the run from authorities has made you quick on your feet, and you're 25% faster when sprinting. 50% harder to take down. What does that mean? I could just kill people. I'll just say I'll barely remember anything.
It does look like you took a pretty hard blow to the head. You're just lucky you've been given a second chance. Which is why I feel terrible for what I'm about to say, but I have a favor to ask. There are some ruins just behind you. Roman, I think. I need you to go in there and see if you can find a guy named Al for me. He went in there a few hours ago, and he hasn't come out. I've been freaking out, wondering if he's trapped, or injured, or worse. I would have gone in after him, but he made me promise to stay here, no matter what. There's no way I'm leaving without him, so I'm just kind of stuck here, waiting. What I mean is, I was hoping you wouldn't mind going in there to find him? If you can do that, I can get both of you back to civilization in my boat. Please? Oh, of course. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy. What do you want to know?
I mean, yeah, I'm an amnesiac. I need to know something. What's your story? Who's Al? Where are we? What's your story?
Oh, there's not much to tell. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Know what I mean?
You're not even gonna tell me your name?
Oh, I'd rather not say if it's all the same to you.
I'd really like to know, especially if I'm gonna be helping you.
All right, fine. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen. Well, thank you for saving my life, Karen. You're welcome. Always happy to help. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Who's Al?
He's the guy who washed up on the riverbank not long before you did. I thought maybe you two knew each other. I guess not. But Maybe the two of you can piece together what you're doing here. In any case, you'll like him, I'm sure. Once you find him, that is.
Where are we?
You really don't remember? We're in Italy. This river is the Tiber.
What can you tell me about the
Not
ruins?
much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. Priceless ancient artifacts.
Have you tried calling for help?
What am I, an idiot? You could hike a long, long way in any direction and never find another soul. Trust me.
I don't know if I trust you, but that's all the questions I had.
Great. So you're ready to go look for Al?
Sure.
Thank you. The entrance is just past those columns behind you. Please, hurry. Oh, and he left this here. But I think you'll need it more than I will.
Is it a gun? Oh, a flashlight, okay. Yeah, I'll take it. I want that chicken. Oh. Cool. Sprint. Seems strange that Al left it behind. Yeah. Oh. Okay. We'll just leave it there.
If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city hidden deep underground. Its existence is long forgotten, all knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise. The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold."
Oh. But in vain for this shall be their final resting place. Okay.
But in vain, for this shall be their final resting place. Could an underground city have remained a secret for all this time? Could people have survived down there, against the odds? It seems there's only one way to find out. If I'm not back in an hour, I'm somewhere on the other side. Consider this an invitation, or a warning. Al Worth.
Okay. What does that mean? I do not know Latin. Command a gladiator flee. kick. Oh, there we go. Oh, I can just walk through them. Oh, I'm stupid. Okay. Quick load. Okay. I will do that. Scramble away from something. State of terror. What are y'all looking at? Bless you. Oh. This must be out, but how is that possible? What the hell? With the stone tablet.
To whoever reads this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this. And worse, that you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. In here, there are only two options: death, or that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right, and I tried. I really tried. Whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning. Don't make the same mistake. Better to end it all now, and find out what awaits you beyond that portal.
Uh-huh. Sure. Yeah, I hear you. God, that's bright. Two more who they could be. Alright, and here we get to the crux of the game.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
I'm Scootchimus, and I've just come from the future.
No idea what you're talking about. Oh, wait. Are you a bit, not right in the head? That's all right, friend. Everyone's welcome here.
Seriously, what's today's
We
date?
sort of lose track of the date down here, but it feels like the beginning of spring to me, so I'd say early March?
What year?
It's 817 AUC. Sorry, you look confused. 817 years since the founding of Rome. Which part of the empire are you from, exactly?
Doesn't help me. Is this before or after Christ?
Hey, not so loud. Just saying that name could land you in trouble here. If you haven't heard, his cultists burned down half of Rome last year. Horrible business. I heard Nero executed some of them, but a lot of people are still angry with them, even down here. So, if you're one of them, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get here, but you seem very lost, and in more ways than one. So, let me make this nice and simple for you. Live by our law here, and we'll all get along just fine.
Your laws?
Not laws, law. There's just one, the golden rule, and the punishment for breaking it's, well, it's kind of horrific. But our magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So then, you coming?
Yeah, whatever.
Follow me. When I first arrived, I couldn't believe there were people living down here. But, as you can see, we've got a nice little community now. Only 23 of us at the moment, if you count the 3 who are missing. No idea how, since nobody knows a way out. But it's just big and dark enough to get lost in, if you're not careful.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your handsome new friend, Galerius?
Keep it in your loincloth, Aurelia. I'm taking him to see the magistrate.
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer. Anyone who helps vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
Politics. I'd stay clear of it and her, if I were you. She's, it's not my place to say. Down on your right is our farm, where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat. Huh. That one usually gets a chuckle.
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
Ah, don't mind Livia. She means well. She's just been in a bad place since... Well, you know, I don't know what happened to her. Up here on your right is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left is the forum, where you can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of Apollo. Most of us have almost nothing, just what we had on us when we arrived, and what we've been able to make and scrounge up since. And this central plateau is where the magistrate and the other patricians live, so don't expect a warm welcome.
Hilarious. You're meant to be working the farm, not trudging dirt into the villas.
Take it easy, Horatius. I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
You'd better go with him. But just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
What was that? What did you just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you, farm boy. Greetings, citizen. My name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort you to him personally. Follow me, please.
Yup. What's this about?
I expect the magistrate wants to brief you about the Golden Rule. It shouldn't take too long. He's busy preparing for the election later today. Follow me. The only thing you really need to understand right now is the Golden Rule. Let me see if I can explain it this way. When I was serving in the Legion, if there was a mutiny brewing in one cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding the bad apples among hundreds. They just divided us into groups of 10, made us draw straws, and whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the other 9.
Yep,
Doesn't matter
decimation.
whether he'd done anything wrong. One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the collective. We call it decimation. If that seems like rough justice to you, you're in for a rude shock. Because the Golden Rule is exactly 10 times worse. The magistrate can explain the rest. He's up these stairs.
So 10 times 10, so Centimation. Sentious.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name?
I'm
A
Scootchie.
curious name to match a curious accent. But I digress. Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you? A secret city built deep in the mountains many hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months. 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, living and working together in our own little paradise. And in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft, nothing. Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary as a city without sin?
Can't say I have.
Nor could I until I came here. But the reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." From what we can gather, breaking the law here will anger the gods and provoke a terrible punishment. Like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined, turning us all to gold. We've come to call it the Golden Rule. It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have, and each day I grow more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. And now it seems that day is finally here. All that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the Golden Rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can stop them, our doom is assured. I know that's a lot to take in, and you look like you have questions. Please, ask away.
Okay. Let's just take it from the top. What counts as a sin here?
An intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes or to some other ill-defined wrong? Of course, everyone agrees on the basics. No theft, no assault, and certainly no murder. But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass, trying to escape, bribery, infidelity, suicide? As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire to a standard never before seen. And we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper, as Rome has for centuries.
That's a lot of words. Too bad I ain't reading them.
I'm glad you agree. The key things to remember are that we have laws forbidding treason and blasphemy, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson and so on. I have made my pronouncement on the subject. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies in the shadows. I would be keeping a close eye on them if I were you.
What did you mean when you said Proserpina sent me?
You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. It's said to open a doorway in time, so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past.
Oh.
And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person was you. You don't belong in our time, do you?
No.
2,000 years? That is unfathomable. Please tell me, in your time, what did you see? What had become of us?
Oh god.
Of this city?
Yeah, you'd all been turned into golden statues.
I have imagined it, our downfall, 1,000 times. But it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it.
I'm looking forward to the answer for this one. How does the ritual work?
All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice is involved. Usually that means wine or food, or in some cases a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. The life of the person performing the ritual. I don't suppose you saw any sign of me in the future?
Yeah.
I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't need to use it, won't you?
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Well, I suppose that's all I can ask for.
Why can't you investigate?
Well, I believe you're in the best position to go around asking people questions. You're new here, and it'll seem perfectly normal. As for me, well, it pains me to say my attempts to impose order have not earned me many friends. I fear I may not even remain magistrate after today's election. The people here would only treat my curiosity with suspicion. You shouldn't have that problem, though, unless, of course, you get off on the wrong foot.
Yeah, fair enough. Wonder what Karen's up to now. Do you have any suspects?
Do you ever stare at a problem for so long that you can't see it for what it is anymore? What's needed here is a fresh pair of eyes. The less I prejudice the independence of your investigation, the better.
Okay. How do I know you're not the person responsible?
Me? Why would you suspect me? I've just told you, I'm about to sacrifice my own life to ensure these people have a second chance. What reason could you possibly have to suspect me, of all people?
I mean, fair point, but... what if the ritual doesn't go the way you think it does?
I'm glad you think so. Without trust, without each other, we won't be able to prevent what is about to happen.
Alright. Why can we understand each other? I don't speak Latin.
You mean you couldn't speak Latin before you arrived here? How strange. But the gods are active here, and their temples and shrines hum with power like nowhere else in the Empire. Perhaps when Proserpina brought you here, she planted the seed of Latin in your mind so that you could better serve her.
Awesome.
Indeed.
If I do this, will you help me get back to my own time?
If I understand Proserpina's ritual correctly, that problem should take care of itself. Let me see if I can explain. If you manage to prevent the sin that breaks the Golden Rule, I won't need to bring you here. I won't create the portal, and you will never have been able to come here.
Okay.
Thus, you'll have created a paradox. If this occurs, you should be flung back to your own time, having changed the past for all of us. Make sense?
And hopefully Al too. I think so. That's it.
Good. So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break
Time
the
paradox.
golden rule.
Doesn't seem like I have much choice.
No, I don't suppose you do. But I'm hoping that even if you're not burdened with a sense of self-sacrifice, you'll at least see the sense in self-preservation.
Yep, I'm in.
Now, I need you to investigate the city, talk to everyone, help them, if it'll win their trust. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately.
Alright, sure.
Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the Shrine of Apollo in the Forum.
There it
I
is.
heard wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right.
Yeah, I'll get right to it. Bed. Sure. Oh. Dying gas. Find out what's distressing Lucretia. Ooh. Not gonna steal that just yet. Or will I? Yeah, hold on. Scintilla de Sentius. May Jupiter Optimus Maximus continue to protect and guide you. Thank you for making me your daughter, and for the lovely birthday pendant. I promise I will wear it always. I feel so safe and fortunate to have you as my father, and Sentia as my sister. I sense you've been feeling apprehensive about the election next month, but if you can just show them the strong and dependable man I know you to be, you will be reelected. I'm sure of it. Okay. Apple.
Ugh, this place has become a thoroughfare.
Sorry. Who are you?
Ugh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want?
Well, what's up with your attitude? What's your story?
I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the magistrate.
Oof.
But you'd know that if you'd been invited in here and introduced properly.
Okay.
What are you doing in here? And why are you dressed like that?
I'm not from around
Really?
here.
I'd never have noticed, what with your flawless accent, appropriate attire, and impressive mastery of our customs. Now, remind me, why are we having this conversation?
Do you know a way out of here?
Ugh, what is it with you people? You heard the rumor that my little sister escaped and figure I must know a way out too. Is that it?
What?
Well, that's just a stupid rumor. We have no idea what happened to Scintilla. I wish you mouth breathers would just leave me alone.
Oh, sorry for breathing from my mouth. Can I help?
I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exits and no crime? Was she snatched away by the harpies?
When did you last see her?
It was 3 weeks ago. We ate our evening meal together, and I remember she seemed happy. In love. We went into our rooms, I went to sleep, and when I woke up, she was gone. That's it.
She was seeing someone?
I think so, yes. But she was very careful about keeping his identity a secret, even from me.
I see. Your father didn't mention any of this when I spoke to him. Any idea why?
That doesn't surprise me. To him, it was like a prize cow wandering off from its paddock. He's upset, of course, but he says he's too busy with the election to help look for her. So he's letting Horatius do the heavy lifting. Some good that's done.
Is it possible her lover was involved?
I don't know, but it's been 3 weeks since she disappeared, and he hasn't come forward. That might speak to a guilty conscience. All I know is, whoever he is, he's still here in the city.
Well, you know it's not me. Sentia Scintilla. Why are your names all so similar?
You really aren't from here, are you? All Roman women are named after their fathers. I think it's their way of branding us, like cattle to be sold at market. His family name is Sentius, so I'm Sentia because I'm the eldest. And my little sister is formerly Sentia Minor, but she is affectionately known as Scintilla.
He looks, I don't know about this one. You look surprisingly relaxed about your sister's disappearance.
Why? Because I'm on this couch and not pacing about the villa, wasting energy. I hope you're not insinuating I'm somehow pleased with her disappearance.
Are you?
Oh, you're awful. Get out of my villa and never speak to me again.
Done and done. Goodbye. Oh. Yep. Cosmetic jar. Yep.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Whoops. Uh-oh. Well then. Hello. Whoops. I didn't think that would... Oh no. Oh no. Whoops. Whoopsie. Okay, sorry about that. That was me. Yep, good to know. So, stealing is a sin, for sure. And let's quick save. Well then. Hey.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
I'm Scootchie, and we've had this conversation before.
I don't think so. I've never seen you before in my life.
Your name is Galerius, and you're about to offer to take me to see Sentius so he can tell me about the Golden Rule.
Oh, Bacchus, how much did I drink last night? Sorry to have bothered you.
No problem, I have to go.
And since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this device I made. Worked real hard on it.
Is it a gun? No. Okay.
Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, it'll be faster than walking. And if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim in the lake. I haven't quite summoned the courage to test it myself.
Thank you, Galerius.
But don't worry, it's completely safe. Probably.
Thanks, I'll be going now.
See you around.
Okay. Going this way. Yep, statue. Oh. That was distressing Lucretia. Okay. Old scroll. Can I read this, or will I be sinning? The Myth of the Golden Rule by Duratus the Younger. As per our custom, I shall begin by paying my respects to the god responsible for the city, for our continued prosperity and tranquil seclusion. He deserves our admiration, but here I must depart from custom, for his attempt at imposing strict rule upon us is oppressive and overreaching, deserving of our contempt. Who among us has not awoken at night in a cold sweat, fearing some sort of accidental transgression of the golden rule? All of us must accept that we are all capable of error, whether from a momentary lapse in judgment or a conscious decision based on faulty reasoning. Yet the great threat, the sword of Damocles that we live under, is, I believe, merely a deception. And I shall prove it to you. Let me begin by dismissing the counter-arguments. First, it may be argued that the inscription stating that the many shall suffer for the sins of the one is evidence that the golden rule is very real. That is logically unsound, for we cannot assume the writers knew any more than we did. That this message was inscribed does not make it true any more than if I were to inscribe Duratus the Younger as a god. Second, it may be argued that the statues in this place are evidence that the golden rule is real. You need not remind me of that. 'Twas I who discovered them all around the city. It was I who collected them, placed them in a handcart, and placed them in the niches in which they sit today. I will not soon forget them. And yet I refuse to leap to the conclusion that they were once real people. There is simply no evidence to support that conclusion. When we read the story of Venus bringing Pygmalion sculpture Galatea to life, we do not believe it is true. Why should we take a different view here? But ultimately, these arguments are just that. After years of living in fear, there is only one way for me to prove that the golden rule is a falsehood, and that is through action. Friends, I apologize in advance for this, but one day you will see this moment as a turning point in our city's history. Let us see once and for all if the golden rule is real, as I strike one of you with my fist. So, Huh. I don't know. Seemed like fun. Lucretia.
What are you doing in here? Can't you see this woman is dying? She's been poisoned. She needs the resin of a plant called Silphium, but that Culus cumulatus decius won't give it to me.
I'm sorry, I wish I could help.
It's too late. She just slipped away.
Oh.
She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally, I'd treat her with resin of Silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing. And I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall. But there's no way I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing. And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule, or why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath.
Is there something I can do to help?
Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that Sylphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that Genetricum Fututo and scratching his eyes out.
Ooh. I wonder what that means. I'll get right to it.
Well, come back if you get sick or injured. Day or night, I'll do what I can.
What's up with this dude? Seems cool. Still ain't 2 millennia. Urbrack. Cool. Medical tools.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Yep. Ditto. This guy.
Salve.
I can hear you. Hello? Okay.
Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Dacius. Terrible shame what happened to Yulia, but we just have to carry on, don't we?
What's your story?
You mean, how did I end up here? That is a lengthy tale.
Oh, let's hear it.
All right. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring rare and precious objects liberated from the enemies of Rome. Mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave, fetch a magnificent price in Roman high society.
Yikes.
Had myself a nice little shop in Rome, just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the docks. Good place to be when the fires broke out. See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an outer gate was running for the river, open to escape by barge. So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl, pretty young thing named Acantha, push it for me. All the way down to the river, I'm elbowing through a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables. But, to my surprise, we make it, and I see this barge loading up, and it's so full it's almost sinking. But the captain's happy to take my coin, so I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I did what anyone would have done.
You chose the cart, didn't you?
Of course I chose the cart.
Yeah,
I mean, I
okay.
can always buy a new slave girl if I still have my money. So I put my hand on the cart, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. And in one swift motion, she topples the whole bloody thing into the Tiber.
Ooh. I think I see where this is
Naturally,
going.
I dived in after it, hoping to salvage my fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something, because everything went black. When I came to, I'd washed up on the riverbank, not far from here, with nothing in the world but a single silver coin.
Commiserations.
Thank you, friend. But it turns out it might have been a stroke of good fortune, because this place is a veritable treasure trove. Look around you, there must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I can just figure out how to get it out of here.
Do you know a way out of here?
I'm afraid not. If you're desperate, I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of a way out, but I'm not sure I trust her. Some people here are a little shady for my liking.
Thanks, I'll keep an eye out for them. I need some silver.
Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii.
Ooh. How would I come up with 1,000
That's hardly my
denarii?
concern. But if you get a job, work hard and save your coins, you should be able to afford it within, say, 5 years?
Christ. I don't have
Very
that
well.
kind of money.
Perhaps I can interest you in something within your budget?
What do you think go to the golden
Terrible
rule.
for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. Of course, I have an idea for generating real wealth, but what I need is a bow. Just a simple I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one, bring it to me and we'll talk.
I'll see what I can do.
Friend. Very well.
Now.
Another time.
So, yep. Sorry. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Okay, so I need to get him a bow. If I get him a bow...
Hey, Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Dacis, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
But how am I going to defend myself against someone else with a weapon?
There are no other weapons in the city. We all went along with the magistrate's weapons ban, so it wouldn't be an issue.
That's why I've got to get in first before someone else beats me to it.
Could you make me a bow?
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to a little community. My name's impossible to pronounce for most people, so you can just call me Virgil. You arrived on a sad day, friend. What with Julia's death? I wish we could have met under better circumstances.
What's your story?
Well, I'm an architect. Or at least I was back in Rome. That's probably too grandiose a term to describe what I do here. Help out with repairs and try to stop old buildings from collapsing on people. That kind of thing. But you probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architecture or mysterious history of this place.
Why are you French? Correct. Tell me about the city's history.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Some of these shrines were constructed hundreds of years ago, which means Romans have been arriving here for at least that long. But there's one thing that puzzles me. The oldest shrine in this avenue isn't Roman at all. It's Greek.
Isn't it common for Romans to copy Greek art and architecture?
Well, yes, that could be the reason. Or it could mean that there were Greeks living and worshipping here before the Romans arrived. Which begs the interesting question, who really built this place? And could it be far older than any of us imagine? If only there was a way we could talk to the people who came here before us. The stories they could tell.
Let's talk about something.
Of course.
What's the graffiti? What does it mean?
Oh, it means someone thinks I'm a sinner. And that I'm going to break the golden rule.
Why does someone
Look,
think that?
I haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just has a problem with my preference for male company.
You like men?
Hey, nothing gets by you, huh? Sorry, that was mean. Yes, I like men. And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagus, you expect a bit of hostility. The Batavi are not known for their tolerance. I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping your personal affairs to yourself. So I hid who I was for, what was it, nearly 10 years? Watching what I said and where I looked. But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living isn't any better than the thing you were afraid of. Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world, with an assumed name, my openness didn't go down well among the enlightened folk of the Batavi.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Nice of you to say, but not necessary. In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, and among them, I get to be who I am. Or at least I thought that was the case. It seems I was wrong.
Do you know who's writing the graffiti?
It's not just graffiti. I have quite a collection of handwritten notes too. The strange thing is, I keep my personal affairs to myself. I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. So I'm not sure what I could have done to upset this person. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of those cultists.
Cultists?
Strange bunch. They insist there's only one god.
Oh.
And that he considers my nature a sin. Can you believe that? If there are any of them here, they won't admit it. Not since they supposedly burnt down half of Rome last year and went into hiding. All I know is if these threats keep escalating, eventually my secret admirer is going to cross a line and break the golden rule.
Let me look into it for you.
Really? I didn't expect that. But thanks. It's always a pleasure to meet someone so selfless. I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are. Or maybe ask around among the merchants here. Someone who lives or works in the forum must have seen something. But if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. I suspect they're just confused.
I'll see what I can do. No way out of here.
You wouldn't believe how often the new ones ask that question. But I'd tell you the same thing I tell everyone else. There are much worse places to live out your days. You might have a few sleepless nights thinking about the golden rule. But once you get used to the fear, knowing that a single slip-up could cost you everything, it's not too bad. Nothing new to me, anyway.
What do you mean?
Oh, I just mean I grew up in the Batavi tribe, far to the north in Novio Magus, and learned to expect a bit of hostility. They weren't nearly as tolerant as the Romans.
Right.
Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, drive safe. What's in here? That's something I didn't check. My inventory. Did I get to keep this? Did I get to keep the denaries? Oh, right. Stranger. Who's that guy? Nope, that's a lady.
Ove.
Sorry. I saw the robe and I thought you were like a philosopher. This person's just doing
Fresh
push-ups.
meat, huh?
Okay.
Hey, Horatius. How's it feel knowing your man's doomed to lose the election today?
If you're trying to goad me into an argument, it won't work. I'm a stoic, remember?
If the old man couldn't even keep his own daughter safe, how can anyone trust him to keep us safe, eh?
Why do I get the feeling you lot had something to do with Centilla's disappearance?
That's it. Blame everyone but yourself.
If I find out you did something to that poor sweet girl, not even the golden rule is gonna protect you. Got it?
As if I'll be afraid of you, little man.
What is it, citizen?
Think about Scintilla?
What business is that of yours?
Looking for
A
them.
lot of people have been looking for her. But it's been 3 weeks, and we've found nothing. What makes you think you can do better?
Sometimes fresh eyes help.
I suppose that's true.
Did you notice anything suspicious before she went missing?
Scintilla was always a kind, well-behaved young woman. I admit, her disappearance really caught me off guard. If anyone knows something, I'd expect it to be Sentia, Malleolus, Claudia, or Domitius. But none of them will tell me anything. You might fare better though, I suppose. Fine.
That's
All
it.
right. Please keep an eye out for anything that might lead us to Scintilla.
Can do. Oh, hey.
Are they?
Sup, dude?
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name?
I'm Scootchie, and we've had this conversation before.
Wait, if I understand correctly, someone is about to break the golden rule, forcing me to create a portal in time to bring you here?
Yeah,
I must have entrusted you with figuring out who the culprit is. Only, I assume we failed, and you had to start over.
Yeah, that might have been my fault.
Is that about right? If so, what happened?
I broke it.
You broke it? Why in Pluto's name would you do that?
I just wanted to see what would happen.
Just wanted... What is wrong with you? Do you fancy yourself as mortar, holding the threads of our fate in your hands? Look, it's unfortunate, but all that matters now is that you make use of what you've learned and gathered, and do better next time.
Yep, can do.
I assume you've sought me out again for a reason?
Yes. I was hoping... About my investigation.
Ask them. Good. Now... Thank you.
Back to it. I don't really have much right now. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I'm trying. What do you want from me? This is where he was hanging himself. Somewhere. Whoop. Hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Invisible. Cool, cool, cool. It's over here. Oh. Okay, yeah, that's not stealing. Nice. Cool. Golden statues up here. Oh, hey.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule. It's a ghastly thing, is it not? How are you faring so far?
I'm fine, thanks.
Another stoic, perhaps. We all need something to help us through times like these. We've all been where you are now. I remember when I first arrived. I used to lay awake at night contemplating the big questions. Why am I here? Is there a way out? What is the Golden Rule, and who or what is responsible for it? I still don't have any of the answers, I'm afraid. I don't think anybody does. But I'm happy to share with you what I've learned.
Okay. What's your story?
Here, in this place, the magistrate has me earning my keep by cleaning and pruning the gardens. It's not quite how I expected my life to go. I used to live in a lovely villa on the banks of the Tiber. I was even betrothed to a handsome young man from a prominent family. But long hours of menial labor for the good of the community has its own charms too, I suppose.
How did you end up
much
here?
the same way as many of the others. When the fires came to Rome 7 months ago, my family and I fled for the Tiber, hoping to escape on a barge. We were among the fortunate ones with enough coins for passage, but unfortunately, there were a lot of desperate people. and they boarded before we could depart. A scuffle broke out, and I was pushed overboard. The last thing I remember was the water, rising up to hit my cheekbone. I woke up by the river, near that shrine, and stumbled across this place. Oh, that's all right. I'm sure it's all part of God's plan for me.
Oh, there we go. God, don't you mean
Oh,
gods?
yes, of course. A slip of the tongue.
Sorry, what's something else? Do you know way out
I'm
of
afraid
here?
not. Although, I did once hear someone gossiping down at Aurelia's tavern about a possible way out.
Okay,
I
think
don't
have
put
to
a
go to
lot
her
of stock
tavern.
in such rumors, but if you're desperate and wealthy, you could look into it, I suppose. If that doesn't work, then I suppose we're all stuck here until the gods decide our fate. I hope it works out.
What do you think about the golden rule?
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. I think about those words a lot. I'd like to think that if we all love our neighbours as ourselves and do to them as we'd have them do to us, then we'll all be fine. But on the other hand, I was always taught the intent of man's heart is evil from his youth, and that all of us are born with a tendency towards sin. And that's where I get stuck. Is it true? Are we born with a tendency towards sin?
I don't think so. I think people are fundamentally good.
You don't think that's a little naive?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I know.
I suppose you've never seen what I've seen. Innocent men and women, torn apart in arenas while thousands of Romans look on and cheer.
I stand by what I said.
I wish I shared your faith.
So you're a Christian?
Please keep that to yourself. I know you're not from around here, but things are very difficult for us right now. There was a terrible fire in Rome last year, and our emperor decided to make us his scapegoats. There were executions. It was horrible.
Your secret's safe with me.
Oh, thank you. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. All right, well, it was lovely to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you better over the coming months. And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
What?
Oh, no. No. No, 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 no.
What?
Wolf-Pierce, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my life working for a man who treats me like an animal?
I know things are hard for you right now. They're hard for all of us. We're all in this together, Ulpius. Please just think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want?
I'm sorry, but I just don't care anymore.
Please, Ulpius. Help him. If he goes through with it, it could be the end for us all. I don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with this sort of thing. Please, you need to talk to him.
Oh. Why can't I? Do you really think a suicide would break the
I
golden
don't
rule?
know, but it's a crime for slaves to take their own lives. And a debt bondsman isn't far off.
Alright, I'll talk to
Thank you. And please, choose your words carefully.
I'll try. Oh, God. Ulpius, can we talk?
Let me guess. You're going to lecture me on how suicide is a crime against the Empire.
I was just going to ask you what's wrong.
I screwed up my life. That's what's wrong. I borrowed money, and when I couldn't pay it back, I wound up in debt bondage. I'll be stuck slaving away for that Culus Cumulatis Malleolus for the rest of my life. I am out. Wherever you are, Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
No,
Orpheus,
no, wait. I didn't even get to... Oh.
I can't believe he went through with it. Oh Lord. That poor lamb.
Was that my fault?
That was not your fault. There's no way you could have given him what he wanted, moments after you arrived.
Well, I can now. His suicide didn't break the golden rule. What does that mean?
Well, I suppose it means suicide isn't a sin under the golden rule. So I guess that means whichever god is responsible for it. It isn't mine.
What happens now?
I'll have to let everyone know what happened. And I guess Malleolus will have to clean up the mess in his villa. It's of his own making, after all. And I'd best pray for poor Ulpius.
What?